Dr. Shabir, here's a question here. To be 100% sure that the Quran as we have it is from God, every verse needs to have multiple chains of transmission from different people. But that isn't always the case. There are multiple verses that only one person knew by heart. How can we guarantee that these verses are 100% correct? And what if some verses were completely missed?
So when it comes to the transmission of the Quran, the way of evaluating was different from the way of evaluating hadith. When it comes to evaluating hadith, here we have usually one report about something the Prophet, peace be upon him, said or did or happened in his presence. And that is usually transmitted from one person to another, and the chains of transmission can be counted usually. So then the question of like how many persons, how many chains do we have? Do we have one chain, two chains, three chains to ensure the authenticity? And especially if now we have multiple chains, we're more confident. In the case of the Quran, it was not possible to count. There were so many chains. There were so many people who knew within the community. It was like common knowledge that this is how the Quran is and this is how it is read. But when it came to the actual writing down of the Quran into an official copy, the greater efforts were made to not only go by this common sense knowledge, but to also find the written pieces that were recorded in the presence of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So usually they ask for two written pieces, or one written piece and a person to back up that written piece. From their memory, they could say, okay, I'm testifying. So it was only the matter of getting the person's testifying and getting the actual physical copy that was there. So in the case of a couple of verses at the end of the 33rd chapter and at the end of the 9th chapter, it is mentioned that when Zayd bin Thabit went around to get the written pieces, he could only find one person with the written piece. So when he found that one person, and naturally that was backed up by a witness that is trustworthy, then it was included in the compilation. It doesn't mean that this verse is not supported by multiple narrations. No, it was already common knowledge. It's what all of the Muslims at the time knew, and nobody objected and said, oh no, this should not be included. We have a problem with that verse.
Thank you for your answer, Dr. Shabir Ally.
You're welcome.